What most people dislike about this Obamacare is the simple fact that Americans don't like being told what to do.
How does your plan deal with Obamacare, and how much money would that
Yeah,
save?
we assume that's going to, we assume we're going to be successful in repeal that. We hope that we're going to be able to do what the American people told us they wanted us to do last November, which is get rid of this huge new entitlement program and the taxes that are associated with it. Probably more importantly, what most people dislike about this Obamacare is the simple fact that Americans don't like being told what to do. It's funny how we are as Americans. We actually value liberty and freedom, and they view this bill as an assault on their freedom. So that's the main reason to get rid of it. The added benefit is we're going to save money in the long run and help with our budget situation.
I mean, within the funding of Obamacare, I know there are certain steps you can take to bring the implementation of it to a crawl until there is a flat-out repeal that is passed by the Senate and signed by the President.
And we should do that. When we go through the budget and appropriations process, we should say none of this money, for example, if we're doing the HHS, Health and Human Services appropriation bill, we should say none of this money can be used to implement and further the advancement of Obamacare. There's lots of things you can do, and we should be about doing all those because, again, that's what the voters elected us to do last November.
Mitch McConnell recently said that there were two significant opportunities for Republicans to pass spending cuts, and that was with the continuing resolution that has to be voted on before early March, and whether or not to increase the debt ceiling. Do you see those as opportunities?
Yeah. Those are the two trains that are going all the way to the station. I mean, we learned last year that you don't even really have to pass a budget and have to have an appropriations process. The Democrats proved that, and they didn't do it. I think we will, and that's an important process. But the CR has to be passed. The debt ceiling issue is going to have to be dealt with. Those two things are critical. Those pieces of legislation are getting all the way to the finish line, and so that's where you have the leverage. And that's why we're working on the CR, where we're going to make additional cuts. We want to get to $100 billion in savings over the fiscal year, for the remainder of this fiscal year. So we're looking to offer an amendment to that bill when it comes to the floor next month.
I see it with the debt ceiling that Republicans have the advantage. They have the leverage. And if Obama doesn't go along with any of the cuts and vetoes a bill, then he would be responsible for default. How do you see it?
No, I think you're exactly right. Look, we got to send real dramatic cuts. Have got to be a part of any debt ceiling vote that takes place. That's what the American people demanded. And when we start looking at these numbers, we're talking about getting $100 billion in cuts over the next 7 months, the remainder of this fiscal year, $100 billion in savings. That's 1/13 of the deficit. We got a $1.3 trillion deficit. That's just 1/3. So we have got to be focused on as much spending cuts as we can do because, as I've said many times, the situation is just that serious.